Hey, this is Luke with the Android Guys podcast. I'm here with Scott.
Hey,
How are you?
man, I'm doing amazing.
Ooh, amazing.
I'm just kidding. I'm just trying to bring up the energy
Oh, okay.
for the podcast. I'm doing terrible. I don't want to be here. I'm just kidding. I'm awesome, man.
We talked about a game that I was playing.
Yeah.
And you said, hey, that sounds eerily familiar to a game I'm playing.
Yeah, so a few episodes back,
Yeah.
you described a game that you were playing, reviewed one called, I believe it was called Construction Ramp Jumping.
Yes.
By a developer called Boombit
Yes.
Games.
Yes. You have another Boombit game to talk about.
Yeah, so completely independent
Right.
of your review.
Mm-hmm.
I came across this one, and we both came across that, I believe, the same way.
Right.
Advertising inside of another game.
Yeah.
So shout out to them for having effective.
They did it.
Some kind of advertising hook that it was.
Mm-hmm.
I'll add games to my wish list, and then I'll just kind of, after a few, I'll go back, install them, play them. I'll end up reviewing another phone, so I'll try new games on that phone.
Mm-hmm.
So one point or another, I ended up getting Stuntman Ragdoll Action Movie.
Mm-hmm.
Luke, I could almost just replay your review. We're just going to go to the tape.
Yeah, right.
There are some things about the game that I really like the idea of.
Mm-hmm.
And then there are just a handful of things that I just hate.
Yeah.
So for those who didn't listen to that episode,
Yeah.
if you're wondering about construction ramp jumping, I think this review will also kind of give you an idea what you might expect.
Yes.
The premise is very simple. You open the game up and you are not given any instruction.
Mm-hmm.
You're just standing there at the top of this hill.
Okay.
It looks like you're in a movie set version of Rocky.
Okay.
You're at the top of the steps,
Yeah.
Maybe in Philly or whatever. And then your character, you see a little thing that says play.
Mm-hmm.
You hit the button and you punch what looks like Rocky in his training outfit.
Okay.
The sweats. He just goes tumbling down the steps.
Okay.
So when you realize what happens, at the end of it, you get some coins or tells you how many feet he flew. He's your stunt man.
Yeah.
It will tell you went like 13 feet down the steps. You did some damage. You hit a couple things. And then a thing pops up on the screen to collect more.
Sure.
Like you say, oh, I'm going to collect another so many coins. Well, right away, I tapped on that and I was like, oh my goodness. This is a 30-second non-skippable ad.
Oh.
That was my bad, but it was also the developer's bad.
Yeah.
Because it was in this cute little graphic that looked like a clapper soundboard on a movie set.
Yep.
And there's just this unobtrusive play symbol in there that should have signaled to me that this is an ad.
Sure.
Otherwise, it looked like I was just collecting
your
whatever
coins. Yeah.
Yeah, whatever I got that round for punching the guy down the steps. So you punch him, it's like a ragdoll physics kind of thing. So that's the Stuntman Ragdoll. And there are 3 components that pop up on the screen that you can kind of power up.
Oh,
and I know that on your construction jumping, there were 3 elements.
Yeah. There was an engine, a boost, and a bonus.
These don't really say what they are.
Okay.
One is like a popcorn. One is, I'm trying to think of what the symbols are right now, but you level them up and it kind of makes you like a stronger punch.
Sure.
So the idea is you start to figure out you need to punch and get this stuntman all the way down these steps across this little area into a bullseye target. It doesn't necessarily come from leveling up those 3 things.
Mm-hmm.
And I try to, I'll level all 3 up at the same time because I don't know what each one does.
Yeah, sure.
Respective to the other.
Yeah.
After you do that a few times, you'll come to understand like, okay, this is going to take me a few times to kind of build up. I do see that I'm getting stronger.
Mm-hmm.
So you do that. When you go to do your punch, there's like this meter at the top of the screen that's going back and forth, left to right.
Mm-hmm.
And you can see kind of like red, yellow, green, and then yellow, red on the other side. It's like football when you're kicking a field goal in a game.
Yeah.
You just got this meter, you got to time it. And when you hit it in the middle or hit the green, you might get perfect and really suck the guy in the mouth and down he goes. You are presented with ads. You have the opportunity after every punch or one of those rounds to watch an ad to collect a bunch of extra points.
Right.
Or every 2 rounds or so, you're going to get an ad no matter what.
Regardless. Oh, okay.
Those are not as long. So you could kind of watch their like the 15-second ones, or you might see it pop up and you can do like that skip after 5.
Right.
You can do that. For $4, you can get rid of ads.
Okay.
Which is, having spent as much time in the game, I don't think it's worth the $4 to me because I don't know how much more I'm going to continue to play.
The gameplay is fun, but not that fun.
It's fun, not that fun. Replay value is high, but not that high.
Right.
Like I'm interested in the level to see like, oh, what's the difference on this level? What am I doing?
Yeah, because if it's like the construction game, the levels do change slightly. So like you're jumping for my game, you're jumping off the top of like a stunt tower.
Mm-hmm.
The next one you're at an oil rig, and the next one is a junkyard. So
So this one is after you punch this rocky looking guy. The next round is you're driving down this highway, and your stunt is to basically eject your guy from this seat and land it into an airplane that's kind of flying along the screen with you.
Gotcha.
So you get points and coins or whatever for your distance that you go skating across the road.
Yeah.
But your real goal is to hit the bullseye or land where that target is. And it's a little different. The third round is, I believe, was maybe a skyscraper, and you're like King Kong, and you're throwing a woman.
Okay.
This sounds terrible. It sounds so stupid as I say it out loud.
Right.
But you have to throw this woman across town.
Yeah.
And you got to
stunt woman.
Yeah, she's paid for this.
Yeah, it's ragdoll.
Yeah, and she'll hit different things and bounce, and then kind of come to a stop. There's no blood or anything like that. No. It's all cartoonish. The graphics are cool. They look nice. Like you look at it, and that was part of the reason it hooked me. I was like, oh, this actually looks kind of cool.
Right.
I wonder how fun this is. Like I was genuinely curious.
Sure.
Based off of the amount of advertising that I'm presented with, it really sours the experience.
Yeah.
I like some of the premise, but I also look at each level. The one I'm on now is like it's like you're on the set of Titanic.
Okay.
Rose is at the end of the boat, and you're Jack, basically.
They don't tell how far you can throw the diamond.
No, dog. No, it's how far can you push her off the boat.
Oh, no.
Yeah. I didn't know what it was going to be, right? So you just hit the play button or the action.
Yeah.
And she's got her arms out in the T pose, and you just shove her right off the boat. And she goes falling into the water or busted through the ice. And there's people out there with little boats. So, you got to shove her really far.
Sure.
And that's something that as you level up each of those 3 components I talked about, you get stronger. Your action is stronger. It doesn't seem to be moving like, level 1, you can get away with, leveling these things up 2 or 3 times.
Sure.
And after a few rounds of, maybe watching an ad or 2 or collecting those bonus coins, it's pretty easy to do that. When you get to the second round, you might need to be, those might need to be leveled up to like 7 to 10.
Sure.
The next round, you might need to be up to like 25.
Gotcha.
Now, each time you level up, it gets more and more costly to level those 3 things up.
Right.
So it feels like you could very quickly get to a point where you're like, I can't level up anymore. Now I'm kind of forced to just do these levels or these punches or throws over and over until I collect the coins or watch enough ads.
Yeah, at a certain point, you're not gaining enough that you can afford to not watch the ad.
Now I'm just sitting here waiting to watch this ad, collect all the extra coins just to kind of move me up.
And then when you look at so I think the thing that gets me about these games is when you look at the overall, I'm spending 10 seconds of game time. I'm spending 10 seconds playing this level to watch a 30-second ad.
Well, here's what's crazy, right? So when you hit punch, like one of the levels is like you're like a superhero and you're punching a guy down the steps.
Yeah.
Bad guy. As soon as you punch them, you can hit skip. Like, you don't have to watch your guy go tumble,
Right.
collect these things. You can hit skip. So it's literally play, skip, and then sit through an ad.
Mm-hmm.
Like, your actual gameplay can be so short
Right.
that you're sitting there in a 10-minute period watching 8 minutes worth of ads to do these little things. And I'm like, is that fun?
Yeah.
Is that a replay value?
Right.
Or is that am I a monkey pushing buttons on a flashing board?
Yeah.
Like, what am I doing here?
Yeah. What is me watching this ad doing?
Yeah, I know what it's doing. That's putting money in their pocket. Man.
Yeah.
And at a certain point, it just becomes like, all right, I see the premise here. I got to get, this is cute. I got to throw this woman. This is cool. I got to punch this bad guy across town.
Sure.
Oh, this guy, it's a different skin of Rocky. He's got his Rocky IV outfit on. Like, there are some different things you can unlock. Of course, they're behind advertisements or paywalls.
Sure.
And like your game, there are some things you're like, oh, you want some extra coins to level your stuff up? Here, click on this. Oh, it's actually handing me off to another one of Boombit Games' games
to install my phone.
And I can't fault them for wanting to kind of say, hey, check out other stuff.
Right.
Maybe that's an ad that pops up once in a while. Have you seen our other games?
Right.
Maybe your ads don't have to be so heavy-handed.
Yeah.
Once in a while, you'll get a thing that pops up and it's just like, want to skip ads? It's $4. And you say, no thanks, I like ads. Well, here you go. Watch one. It's like, okay, this is kind of old.
Yeah.
This is, to me, an interesting premise, kind of cool with the way the graphics are. There's attention to detail. Some of the cities and graphics, they look like PlayStation 2, PlayStation 3.
Yeah.
Kind of like there's attention to detail.
Yeah.
It looks nice. But after a certain point, it's just kind of like, all right, I'm done with this.
Yeah.
I figured out how to, how I'm just waiting to level up strong enough to get into that target. Because right now I can't do it.
Right.
So yeah, that is Stuntman Ragdoll Action Movie. And my score for that, I gave it a 3.1.
Okay.
Which is a little bit above average.
Yeah.
But I gave it a 4 for those graphics.
Yeah.
Pretty much everything else is just middle of the line.
Sure.
2 to 3.
Yeah.
And it's just, to me, it's very average. But don't take my word for it. The Play Store has it at 4.3 stars.
People love it.
Yeah, after 500,000 installs.
Okay.
So, but if you start to look through the comments, there's a lot of 1 stars in there. And it's a lot of chatter about the ads.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that'll be adjusted by the time somebody listens to this or down the road, but tread lightly.
Right.
Check it out if it sounds interesting to you. If you're the kind of person that's like, I don't give a crap about ads. I'll pay $4. The game sounds fun.
Yeah.
Have at it. Yep. Stuntman Ragdoll Action Movie.
Thanks, Scott.
You're welcome. All right, that's going to do it for this episode of the podcast.
Thanks for listening.
We appreciate it. If you guys have any questions, feedback, concerns, comments, anything, shoot us an email at podcast@AndroidGuys.com. We'd love to hear from you one way or the other. Luke, if someone wants to get a hold of you, how do they do that?
I am on Instagram and Twitter at Luke Gaul, Gaul.
And I'm on Instagram at Scott Webster and Twitter as SWebster77. Until next time, thanks for listening.
See ya.